June 14th, 2013. Here's my 2 cents on Man of Steel, the Superman movie. Okay, picture this. You're in high school, or maybe you're still in high school right now and you're listening to this right now. You see a beautiful woman in math class. Like, you sit across from her. She's like forming in herself. She's like 16, 17, 18 years old. She's forming into a very beautiful person. She doesn't have to do anything because she can just walk in with a garbage bag over her head and she can still be beautiful. All of a sudden she shows up one day and she's got way too much makeup on. She doesn't really apply it that properly. She probably is like trying too hard and she's like dressing a little bit slutty. Her shorts are too short. She's got the push-up bra going on, whatever you want to call it. That, you know, when those beautiful girls who are trying way too hard to be beautiful, even though they're already beautiful in the first place and they don't have to do anything. That's what this movie is. It's basically an origin story that's perfect. They have all the right elements to tell this great story. They have perfect flashback scenes. It's very well performed. They have a perfect cast going on. And they screwed it up. They screwed up this movie because what they try to do is they try to give us action scene upon action scene upon action scene and CGI effects upon CGI effects upon CGI effects. And what they've done is that they've lost the origin story. You have 40 minutes of great stuff in this movie, and then you have maybe almost 2 hours. This is a 2.5 hour movie of like way over the top action sequences and even moments, like dramatic moments that are just like so rushed to like get to the action scene. It's like basically you have an origin story that they get from him being the Kal-El being on the foreign planet, to being raised in Kansas, to finding who his real family is, to finding his Superman character, blah 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 blah. And you have that movie, and you can make it an hour and a half of golden stuff, and you can throw some action sequences in between, but dramatic action sequences in between, and you have yourself a fantastic origin story of a movie. But what they did is that they had basically General Zod and Superman running into building after building after building and flying in the air and killing people after killing people after killing people, and basically tearing down Smallville and basically tearing down every goddamn building in Smallville. And then if that wasn't worse, they did the same thing again later on. And it's like, why did you do this? You have yourself a great story here, and you just screwed it up with like too much makeup and too much cleavage and too much push-up bras, and you don't even need to do that because you're already beautiful. That's what I feel about this. Also, one extra thing. Amy Adams, great as Lois Lane. I thought that she was really good, but there's a plot point that's even loose. Like, why does she get on the spaceship? People, you know, like, I don't want to give anything away in case you haven't seen this movie yet, but there's no reason why the aliens brought her on the spaceship, but she needs to get on a spaceship to set up the third act. But one of those things where it's like people go somewhere and they get on something or whatever just to set up the plot point that's later on, but there's no logical reason why they're there in the first place. One extra point. Toby Ziegler saved the day. From the West Wing fame, I got every single review of West Wing on this podcast and reviews page. Toby Ziegler does save the day, so watch out for Toby. And what they got to do for the next one is that I understand why they brought in Zack Snyder, the action director, because they need to reboot this franchise. But do what the James Bond did. Bring in a dramatist, like Sam Mendes directed the last Skyfall, the last James Bond movie. This is a man who never dealt with a budget over $30 million because he got to the essence of the story, the essence of the character, the essence of the thematic of what this character is about. That's what you got to do for the next movie. Bring in a dramatist, tell more stories. I thought that Kevin Costner as playing his dad on Kansas was fantastic, but he's in the movie for 10 minutes. This is what we want to see. This is what stands the test of time. Yes, the fanboys like that stuff, but they're going to like this movie no matter what. They're going to like this movie for a year. You know what's going to happen? The CGI is going to get dated, and we're going to watch a 1976 Superman movie, and we're going to laugh at it for 30 years from now. But if you have a good story, the movie lasts for 100 years, and Warner Brothers makes money for 100 years. But you're giving us too much crap, too much makeup. There's beauty in there, and you basically threw makeup on it. That's my review.